have the 2021 Lamborghini Huracán STO, and this is a very, very special vehicle for me for a couple of reasons. Now, when this car debuted last year, we got a chance to drive it on the track and on the track only. But even in that short little stint, I was able to determine that this is my current favorite car, favorite new car on sale. It was the best car I drove all last year, and now I get my chance to drive it on the road. So the STO was a winner on track if you saw that video, but is it a winner on the road? Well, let's find out. And let's start with the basics. The idea behind the STO is a quite simple one. You simply take the Super Trofeo GT3 race car and the GT3 Evo race car, make a homologated road-going version, and you get this, the STO. Now that race car philosophy obviously translates onto the design of this car, because almost every panel except the doors is brand new and they're extremely aero focused. The front is no longer a traditional front bumper and hood and fender design. Instead, we have what Lamborghini calls the Cafango, which essentially just means it's a clamshell design. The whole front of this car is one big piece, which inlets and outlets, which basically just helps channel air through and over the car. Now, the sides of the car, you're gonna notice more aggressive side skirts, but the big story is in the rear with the scoop and the wing. The scoop itself is very, very close to what you get on the race car. The design hasn't changed dramatically, and I like that because it gives this car a true sort of race car for the road kind of vibe. And the wing, let's talk about the wing, because it's enormous and it is adjustable. It's not automatically adjustable. You need some tools to move it, but you can change its position and angle to determine the amount of downforce you want. Speaking of downforce, this car with all of its aerodynamic improvements develops over 930 pounds of downforce at 173 miles an hour, which is a lot. And frankly, during my time with the car, the faster you drive it, the more grip it delivers. It's proper race car stuff. Also from the race car, you get race car inspired brakes. These are phenomenal brakes. They're carbon ceramics and they work extremely well. They do need a little bit of heat in them to really start performing, but once they do, man, they are absolute superstars. And frankly, just everything about this car is dialed up significantly from a Huracán, including the powertrain. It's the same 5.2 liter V10 as in the regular Huracán, but it now develops 640 horsepower and 416 foot-pounds of torque, which is definitely a noticeable improvement. Also, this car is rear-wheel drive, so it has more power and it only has the rear wheels to put it down. Despite that, it'll still hit 60 miles an hour in under 3 seconds, which is, Jesus, that's proper fast. On the suspension front, we have steel springs with hydraulic dampers, which helps on the track, obviously, with the suspension of the car. However, around town, it does make it a little bit more comfortable because the suspension isn't quite as harsh as you'd expect. Now, I kind of caught that vibe when I was at the racetrack, figuring that it was kind of stiff on the track, but it's not completely unlivable on the road like I was expecting. It's a race car, but surprisingly livable on the driving aspect. Lastly, if you can hear me, we have what is likely the loudest stock exhaust system I've ever heard. Pretty much anything short of an SVJ, this thing is an absolute screamer. And once you get past 5,000 RPM, it really opens up and starts to sing. Kind of like that. So how is the STO on the road? Well, I've been driving it around town and up here in the canyon. This is where I've been spending most of my time with the STO, and I've got to say that this car delivers. Oh my God, like, I was super impressed with it on the track, but now getting it on the road and getting to live with it and getting to see it on my favorite roads, it's every good as I remember it, and probably a little bit better because now I have more time with it, and frankly, I'm in roads that I know a little bit better. That 640 horsepower is not going to be the fastest thing in the world, especially when you have McLarens that make over 700 horsepower. This is not a straight line monster, but show it some corners and it's truly in a league of its own, both in performance and enjoyment. This car just feels tremendously alive. There's not a single dull moment. There is is not a single dull moment behind the wheel of this car. Whether you're going 100 miles an hour or 10 miles an hour, this car is proper Lamborghini drama. But with performance intertwined, like they go hand in hand. But this car is exciting. It is so exciting. This car definitely does not need a race car driver to get the best out of it. It's actually quite friendly to pretty much any driver level. I feel pretty confident in this car, despite not being a professional driver, but you can push it with confidence and it doesn't snap back and try to kill you. We should talk about the driving modes, because there's 3 of them. STO is the standard mode. The car comes essentially preset in a sporty mode, but you do have full traction on, so you can really push the car with no fear at all. If you're on the track, you can stick it up to Trofeo, which dials back the traction control, and then things can get a little bit hairy there. For me, on the road, it's STO all day long. Last, you have Pioggia, which is for the rain, which helps dull things down, so the car becomes a little bit more controllable. But overall, as a driving machine, this thing is so alive. There's tremendous feel coming from the steering wheel. There's nothing about this car feels numb, and that has been my criticism of the standard Huracán, the all-wheel drive Huracán, for a few years now, that the steering wasn't all that great. It just felt like the car was missing a bit of a sharper edge. This is it. This is exactly what the Huracán family needed, because as its competitors become turbocharged and deliver immense straight line speed and power, the Huracán has to deliver in other ways, such as the sound department, and now the overall driving experience, the drivability of the car, and how much fun it is to drive at speed, because this is easily the most fun car I've ever driven. It actually requires you to work a bit, because you're trying to manage all that power going through the rear wheels, and it really requires your attention because it is so fast, and it has so much grip on these Bridgestone tires that it is an absolute riot. Frankly, for a canyon run like this, I can't think of a better car than the STO, or at least one that I'd rather drive as of right now. In the livability aspect, because this has been my daily driver for a couple days, not that this would be your daily driver for obvious reasons. This is a second, third, or fourth car in a garage, but it's actually surprisingly nice to drive around town. The seats are hard, but they're not incredibly harsh. The only problem I have with the seats is the shoulders. There's not a real big opening for if you have like wider shoulders like I do, so that can get a little bit uncomfortable. But the suspension front, those magnetic dampers are really earning their keep around town. The other big drawback in the livability aspect is that there's no frunk. There's really no place to put anything. This isn't a car for a weekend getaway. This is more of a point A to point A kind of car. You have a road like this, and you want to go out and just enjoy the car and drive it really hard. That's what this car does well. All right, and the inside, the STO gets some meaningful changes, because the interior, the door panels are carbon fiber, the vents are carbon fiber, the floor is carbon fiber, there's no carpet, the seats are carbon fiber. It's all very purpose built, and you can tell that the STO is the no-nonsense race-going version. This is Huracán all out, and frankly, I'm totally fine with the interior the way it is. Given that I'm boasting about how good this car is, I should also tell you how much it costs. Now, in the United States, this car starts at a hair under $330,000. However, you can't really get one because they're limited and they're pretty much all sold out. In the secondary market, if you would like to check out DuPont Registry, we have a ton of them for sale, but the average price on the used market is right around $500,000, which is definitely a premium to pay for one of these, but this is a truly special machine. And after driving tons of supercars over multiple years of doing this job, this is the most impressed I've ever been. This to me is the best car I've driven up to this point, and I said so last year, I'll say so again today. The STO is a winner any way you slice it. So with that, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so I can keep bringing you more and more cars like this. If there's anything you want to see, please make sure to leave it in the comments and I'll do my best to get it for you. But until next time, take care.